No.
Okay. So we have to go through this hole in the back plate of the bridge, but then we have to get up through the saddle. So you're gonna have to bend it a little bit to help get it up in there. It can be kind of fiddly sometimes. Oh. Come on, baby, get out there. There we go. Now, so the first battle one. And now for the top 3 strings are wound around a core, and so we just call those the wound strings. And so what you need to do, we're going to go into this post first. It looks like, okay, good. Kaysen already has his holes. You want the holes to go parallel to the nut and the frets. So you want your holes going this way. And we measure 2 posts past the one we're going to go into for the wound strings. For the plain strings, it's going to be 3 because they're much skinnier and they're slipperier. So go through the hole towards yourself, and then you're going to kink it 90 degrees this way as well. So for the wound strings, you should be able to pick up the headstock just by lifting up on it. And then I'm going to use my index finger because I want the wraps to be right next to each other, and I want them to go down towards the headstock. So we want the wraps to go down, down, down. And so I'm going to use my index finger, the tip of my index finger, to keep pushing the string down. And then my other fingers, it's a little bit of an acrobatic exercise, but they're just taking up the slack because you want the wraps to be nice and tight. So I'm just going to wind, and you want to be winding counterclockwise. So we're going to use the string winder to turn the tuning machine counterclockwise, and that will also make the post go counterclockwise. And we want the wraps to be on this side of the post. And just wind until it's fairly tight. And then I'll show you how to tune it. That'll be in an upcoming video. And then we'll trim that off later. Okay, so the plain strings, they're tricky because they're slippery, and they're also easy to break if you tighten them too much. They're also a little bit tricky to get through the center of the saddle too. So we'll bend that up, kind of make like a fish hook out of it. And they go through that hole in the back, and then we gotta fish it. Oh man, that was way easier than it normally is. Pop that up through the saddle. Okay, so now for the plain strings, remember we went 2 posts distance before we kinked it, but for these are so much skinnier and slippery, we want to go 3 posts. So how you measure that is you just kind of gently wrap it around and go 1, 2, 3. So there's your pinch point, and you're going to give that a hard kink. I actually kinked that over my fingernail. And you want that hard 90-degree kink, and then we come through on this side of the post, and then we kink it again this way. You're kind of kinking it almost into a Z shape, and then it's the same procedure. But it's even harder to take that slack out, especially if you have small hands. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge. So there's nothing saying you can't grab a partner to take up some of that slack for you. And we're just going to wind down, 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 making sure that the wraps are right next to each other, but they're going down towards the headstock. And these skinny plain strings, it takes quite a few turns to get, and well, plus we're all that slack from going 3 posts distance. And we're almost there. It's gonna make sure it's going into the slot in the nut. Okay, and then rinse and repeat. Same process. So 2 posts kink for the top 3 wound strings, and then 3 posts kink for the plain strings, for the bottom 3 strings.